Ready.
Good morning, graduating class of the Ministry of Justice of the UAE. Congratulations. You have now completed GME Level 1 and GME Level 2. I'd like to thank Dr. Abdullah Salaman for inviting me for this particular presentation and the honor to talk to you guys. Thank you very much for that. You are a unique class and a special class which has just graduated. You have been given tools, you've been given methodologies to be able to do innovation. Innovation is not easy. Innovation is hard. Innovation is fun when we talk about it, but it's difficult when we try and make it real. So the challenge for each one of you is now with the tools that you have, the methods that you've been practicing, level 1 knowledge, level 2 know how to do. You have to now go do something real. You got to go out there and practice, make it happen again. So what I want to do with all of you is give you 5 key messages. And these 5 messages, I hope you'll take to heart and you'll use them in projects at the Ministry of Justice, in other careers that you'll have later on in your life, but you'll continue applying the tools and learning. The first one is, if you want to truly innovate, you have to be able to see the future. You got to be able to imagine what the world's going to look like next. You have to be able to forecast what's coming in the next 3 to 5 years. And if you can forecast the world, and you can imagine what the world looks like, then only will you be able to come up with ideas that might be relevant in the future. And so what I want to ask each one of you is, from now on, if there's a science fiction movie, go watch it. If there's a science fiction book to read, read it. If somebody's telling you anything about technology and trends and consumer trends, listen carefully, discuss it, and then ask yourself, what if this happens? What else would happen? And if you can have those conversations along with trends, along with science fiction of what might come next, you are going to be the first and best prepared to be able to come up with a view of what the world looks like in the future. And in that world, my second advice to you is you can come up with ideas of what could be future problems and therefore future solutions. So you got to come up with ideas. Now, all of us can come up with ideas, but the ideas that you guys have to come up with are big ideas. The bigger the idea, the more exciting it will be for you. The bigger the idea, the more likely you'll attract other people to join you. The bigger the idea, the more customers will say, if you build it, I will buy it. Big ideas is what makes us happy. When you are going to be a grandfather or a grandmother sometime later on, and your grandkids come to you and they'll ask you, what did you do in your life? You want to tell them a big story. And that big story often starts with a big idea or a project to work on. So number 1, you need to be able to imagine the future. And that future world, you got to find ideas. The ideas that I would like you to think about are not small ones, but big ones. Big ideas that will excite you, excite others to join you. And this big ideas, if you implement it, is a story that you'll tell your children and their grandkids. And they'll say, that was my grandfather, my grandmother who did that. Number 3, you have imagined the future. In that future world, you saw problems and solutions, and you came up with a big idea. Now we can talk about it, and you can tell everybody what a great idea you have. But the great innovators are not those who just talk and go blah, 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 blah. The great innovators are the ones who do. They quickly roll up the sleeves. They quickly start putting something together. They quickly try and show a prototype. And they move into action. And those who are prone into action are the ones who actually make something real. So number 3, the second you figure your idea out, very quickly move it into a prototype. Make a brochure. Make a brochure quickly, 2-page brochure of your big idea. Show it to some customers. Show it to your colleagues. Show it to your manager. But show the idea in some sort of form that they can react to it. They can look at it and they can say, change this or modify this. But if you move into action, it is through those actions you'll realize that your idea perhaps was not complete. It's through those actions you'll realize and learn that maybe some parts of your ideas could be improved. And it's through those actions of creating a brochure or a prototype that you will maybe hone it and shape your idea so that there is a clear value proposition for your customer, a value proposition for the people who will make it, and a value proposition for your team as to why you want to work on that specific idea. So that's number 3. If you can imagine the future, and in that future world, you see opportunities and problems, and you come up with an idea, not a small idea, big idea, and you get thinking about it, at some point very quickly move into action. Move into action and make it into a prototype. And that prototype for me is a brochure. Make a brochure. Show it to people. Once you have got the brochure shown, you'll have probably nailed the value proposition of your great idea, your big idea. So then you got to do number 3. A lot of people don't like to share the idea and talk about the idea to other people. And they like to try and do everything on their own. Guess what? You can, if you want to, try and work on your idea alone. But imagine if somebody else has the same idea and they're working with a team of 3 or 4 people. Who's going to go faster? And so, advice number 4, as you start thinking about implementing your idea very quickly, find others who can help you. I know you guys are smart, and I'm sure you can learn everything. And you can read a book and learn about websites, and you can go on Google and YouTube and learn something about extrusion or something else. You can think about a lot of things. You can learn anything you want to, but learning takes time. So advice number 4 is not about what do you know and how will you know something. Advice number 4 is who do you know who could help you? And this is about partnering. This is about finding others who have already learned how to do something so they don't make mistakes, which they already got from practicing in the past. If you try and learn on your own, you will, like any other person, make some mistakes here and there. So there'll be delays, there'll be costs, there'll be some risk. What you want to do is surround yourself with people who can help you accelerate your idea into implementation. Advice number 4 is don't go at it alone. Find others who can help you, can complement your skills to be able to make this thing real. Now, you can imagine the future. In that future world, you come up with a big idea. You have moved quickly from talking about it into making it into a brochure and showing it to customers and suppliers and everybody else. And you have honed the idea into what it needs to be. Then you want to try and implement it. Trouble is, implementing ideas is difficult, and most people don't have all the knowledge to be able to do everything. And so you immediately move into finding somebody who can help you do this. And with that, you now have a team, and you work together, and you laugh together, and you suffer together, but you're moving forward. Which brings me to the last part advice for you as you get ready for your ceremony to receive your awards is ideas, as you try and implement them, even with partners, you'll find that you're going to run into all kinds of challenges. The implementation journey is also very innovative. There is no recipe somebody has written on how to do something. You will have to discover your own path to make that real. And that path is not a straight line. It's the path of explorers, the path of experimenters, the path of scientists. And that path, the scientist or the explorer never knows what he's supposed to do or she's supposed to do to be able to get the result that you want. So what they do is they experiment. They experiment. They try things. And through the experimentation, they find many, many things that don't work. They do not see those things that don't work as failures. They see it as one more way of what not to do. So in the implementation journey, what I'm trying to say to you is you're going to face obstacles and challenges because what you thought was going to work doesn't work. I used to work at Motorola. We made the lithium ion battery, the battery which is in your phone today, which is in your laptop today. My team was the team which made the lithium ion battery and brought it to the world. It took us close to 3 years to make that lithium ion battery. It took over probably 5,000 experiments that we had to do to see what materials could be put together, how we could combine them together to make that real. And it is through those experiments and errors and mistakes and everything that we did, we learned. And if we had given up on the first day, there would be no lithium ion battery. If we had given up the second day, there would be no lithium ion battery today in the world. But we were patient. We were persistent. And after a while, we were passionate about what we were doing. And we were not going to give up. And what I learned at Motorola at that time is the main advice I'm going to give you. Advice number 5. Finish what you start. For those who finish what you start are the ones who are going to be able to talk about what they did. If you quit on the very first obstacle, you will only have a story of a brochure, but you didn't make it real. When my kids come up to me and say, Papa, what have you done? I look at them and I say, look at your phone, look at your laptop. That lithium ion battery, that was 3 years of hard work. And that's what I did. What I want to gift with you, what I am hoping for each one of you is that you too will have a story to share. The story cannot be built in 1 day and 10 days. It takes time. It requires hard work, patience, and persistence. But if you push it through, you finish what you start, you will have made innovation real. So with that, class of 2021, congratulations. You should be proud. The Ministry of Justice is looking at you for coming up with some new bright ideas to make the entity even more innovative. And my guidance to you is the 5 advice I gave you. Number 1, imagine the future. Go out there and learn about trends. Number 2, in that future world, come up, identify the problems and the solutions, and find solutions which are big. Why big? Who wants to work on a small idea? Nobody. Big ideas. Work on a big idea. Number 3, once you have that idea, very quickly move from blah, 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 talk, into a brochure. Once you have made the brochure and tested it with your customers and everybody else, bam, take it out there and talk to people who might join you onto your team. So you can build the capability to execute it. And then number 5 is you will have to learn to be patient and you will need to be persistent. And you need to face obstacles and you will have to show grit. And all those things put together are the characteristics of people who finish what they start. And that's what you guys are. Show your classmates, show other people in the company that you have learned something about innovation. It is not just about ideas, it is also about perseverance and grit and culture. And those who finish what they start are the ones who will be remembered for what they did. Congratulations, class for 2021. Thank you, Dr. Abdallah Suleiman, for having me over here. And I look forward to hearing stories about your ideas and the pictures you're going to be doing and them being implemented in the Ministry of Justice. I also encourage each one of you to continue the journey. The journey has just begun. One is that doing the same methodology and applying it again and again and practicing it so you get better and faster. And number 2, go up in your career and go get Jimmy level 3 and 4 also. So not only are you managing yourself for ideas, in level 3 and level 4, you can help other teams manage ideas to commercialization. So with that, you have a gift. It's in your pocket. It's in your head. You have the knowledge. Go innovate, go change the world. Congratulations. Thank you very much.